What up, my good peoples? Hey, y'all. Welcome to another episode of the Convicted to Grow podcast. I'm your girl, Coach Tressa, motivational speaker, confidence, and business coach. My goal is not only to help you provide strategy in your business and help you build confidence along the way, but to bring people from all walks of life to share their growth journey and what has propelled them to get to where they are today. Now, before I introduce you my next guest, if you are on the audio side, please make sure you hop over to the YouTube and follow our YouTube channel at Convicted to Grow. If you would like to be a supporter of the podcast, you can go to convictedtogrowpodcast.com. Just know your likes, your comments, and your shares are priceless to me, and I thank you in advance. Now, y'all, my next guest, he is, wow, they put his whole age in the, I ain't gonna even say his age, but they put his whole age in the bio. I ain't never seen an age now, but I'll let him tell his age he want to, but he is a certified professional speaker, education consultant, minister. Okay, we're gonna get into that, and author and a dedicated father who has a powerful voice in public speaking, mentoring, and coaching. With over 9 years of experience, he inspires students and leaders and educators across the globe. Having overcoming challenges like foster care, homelessness, and personal trauma, his transparency and resilience resonate deeply with audience. Featured on NBC, Fox, CBS, and Voyage Atlanta. Oh, y'all, I got me a celebrity on. Ooh. He has collaborated with notable figures like Buster Douglas and Hugh Jackson. His mission is simple: to inspire greatness and leave a lasting legacy worldwide. He is also the visionary of a dope speakers community called the Secret Sauce Speakers. Shout out to that community over there doing the daggone thing. Earring just fell out, but that's okay. That's what we do. Anyway, y'all help me welcome none other than Will is Blessed, aka William Winfield. Hey, Will.
Hey, listen. I must say that is probably one of the greatest intros I've had in all of my career. So all hail to you, Queen. Let's go. Let's go.
Yes. I'm putting my, so if you ever need an MC or somebody to bring some energy to your event, I got you.
Say less. Let's go. Yeah.
Listen, y'all. Now, y'all know I always tell y'all like how I meet my guests because it's always some type of alignment. And I couldn't figure out how I met this man, but I knew of him in the IG streets, the TikTok streets, and all the social media streets. In fact, I've been following you for a minute now. And it just so happened, we have a lot of mutual friends in various communities. So the fact that you said yes to this first year journey of my podcast,
Yeah.
Thank you.
Absolutely. It's an honor. I'm hyped. Let's go. You feel me? Let's go. Yeah.
And I already told him, I said, listen, you the last guest of 2024, so you need to bring it on home and stop playing. I need to see that same. Listen, y'all, his hashtag is hashtag preach will, which I want to know. Now I've realized, okay, if you're a minister, I see why they say preach will. So I need you to preach today and give the people what they want. Stop playing.
Shatta, I got you. Say less.
So with that being said, tell the people a little bit about you before we go into the meat of it.
Yeah, man, I'm just one of God's crazy child. That's all. I'm one of God's crazy child. You're always looking at me like, son, like, come on now. Like, I raised you better than that. I'm like, I know, Lord. I know you're still working on me. But all joking aside, man, long story short, man, I'm just a regular dude who loves Jesus, that wants to expand his kingdom. And outside of that, we inspire, educators and students all around the world. And of course, we have our community to where we train speakers. I like to call them disciples, to go out there and share their message, continue to make an impact, not share my message, but share the message that the Lord has given them. Right. And so that's pretty much what I got going on over here.
Wow. I love it. So you mentioned you have overcome some challenges with foster care, homelessness, and personal trauma. Is that what propels you to say, I need to go into the speaking space? Was it speaking and then ministering, or would just kind of intertwine?
Yeah, so it was, I tell people all the time, like the journey really started, the light bulb really went off at the homeless shelter. That was the very first time that I've actually realized I had a gift of communication and that my words were powerful. There was a particular time where I was at the shelter, and the reason why majority of the people at the shelter rocked with me is because I'm always on the floor, right? While all the other staff members on the stage, they're looking at these people, looking down on them. They come to ask for a toothbrush or a Pop Tart. They're like, "No, get out of here," and they busy talking. I'm like, "Nah, man, that's not how you treat somebody, right? Do unto others what you want to be done for you, right?" And so I'm always on the floor having conversations. So one particular night, this dude gets irate. All right, I remember his name was Anthony Robinson, bottom bunk A6, literally right in the front. And I remember going up to him. I'm like, "Man, like, are you good?" He's like, "Nah, I ain't good. Leave me alone." I'm like, "Okay. I don't want no smoke, right?" But I'm like, "Yo, like, are you good?" He's like, "Nah, I'm not good." I said, "What's going on, man?" He said, "I don't feel like talking." I said, nah, we need to talk, man. We need to talk. Like, what? Talk to me. What's going on, man? Like, come on. Like, forget everybody that's here. Like, what's really going on? Man, this shelter's garbage. They keep lying to me. They keep telling me I'm going to get food stamps, housing, all the third. I'm like, "Oh, okay, cool." I said, "What else is going on?" He's like, "Pretty much my friends, they keep taking advantage of me and all of this stuff." And I'm like, "Man," he's like, "I feel like life ain't worth living no more." And immediately I just snapped in the spirit. I was like, "Poof." And literally I just said, "You don't need to take your life. You need it." So literally because of protocol, we got to take him all the way down, wait for the ambulance. The ambulance came, put him on the back of the ambulance. He looking out the window. I'm looking into the window. I'm like, "Anthony, you going to be good, bro." 2 weeks later, I come back into work. My boy Jerome, he like, "Hey, Will." I was like, "Oh, what's good, Jerome?" He's like, "Hey, Will, I think you need to go talk to Anthony." I said, "Well, let me clock in. Let me put my food away. Let me go talk." No, he said, "You need to go talk to him now." I got down off the stage. I said, "Ant, you good?" Immediately, as soon as I said, he turned around and just hugged me. Boom, embraced me. To this day, I tell people all the time, like, I still feel like I got a crack rib. Like, that's how hard this dude hugged me. Like, for real, for real. He's like, "Well, I just want to let you know, because of your words, like, I did not kill myself." And I was in a deep, deep state of depression because nothing was working for me. But I just want to say to you, thank you for your words. I was like, "Okay, Lord," bing, like the light bulb went off. So that's where the speaking, like, God started to breathe on the ministry right there at a homeless shelter. It wasn't in corporate, wasn't no school, wasn't no football team. It was right there at a homeless shelter. I was in a mastermind in a homeless shelter, pretty much.
Wow, wow. And a lot of our listeners and audience make up entrepreneurs and professionals and leaders and things like that. Were you working a 9 to 5 at the time?
Oh yeah, I was working too. So this is where it gets better. So as soon as that happened, fam, my friend Braulio Ortiz came to me. He said, "Hey, Will, I want to give you an opportunity to come work at the Providence Center, which is a drug rehab." The reason why I said yes to it is because my mom is a recovering drug addict. She got 30 years clean right now, right? So I said, I definitely want to be a part of that experience. So I went there. Now, mind you, I ain't got no degree. I tell you, the only degree I got is wisdom and experience. I got a PhD in wisdom and experience, flat out, right? So I'm in this room and I feel like, I feel unqualified because everybody got a master's degree, PhD. I'm like, "God, why am I here?" He said, "Don't worry about why you're here. Just know you're here." I said, "Okay, Lord, say less." So I remember, like, they said, "Hey, well, I noticed that you, like, you're pouring into, the clients here and there. Would you mind doing a workshop?" I said, "A workshop?" I said, "Little old me do a workshop?" They're like, "Yeah." I said, "Okay, cool." And my first presentation I ever did wasn't in corporate, wasn't a school, wasn't a church. It was at a drug rehab with 45 grown men. At this time, fam, I'm like 22, 23. I'm walking into this double door, hands sweating, heart beating. I'm like, "Lord, what am I going to say? Lord, what am I going to say?" And he gives me the message right on the spot. Eagles do not stress the opinions of pigeons. Never forget it. And I'm sitting in this room, fam. Now, I got to remind you, right? Like, this 65-year-olds, 68-year-olds, 55, 45, 48. I'm like, "God, what am I going to tell these people about life? I ain't even experienced no life yet." And literally the spirit just downloaded into me and I went crazy for 45 minutes just talking about eagles not stress the opinions of pigeons. Eagles not stress the opinions of pigeons. And when I got done with my talk, fam, watch this. The same situation that happened at the shelter happened here, but they were killing themselves silently because there was two guys in the back that was about to leave the program and they already had it planned to OD. They already had it planned. They already had their bags packed, everything. As soon as I'm done, I walk out the double doors. Vanessa comes up to me, which is one of the counselors. She says, "Hey, Will, I just want to let you know, you see those two guys over there?" As they're entering the bathroom. And they looked at me, they say, "Thank you, Will." I'm like, "Wow." She says, "Those two guys, because of your words, they're staying. They want to continue their treatment." I said, "What?" She said, "Yeah." To this day, this is why I tell people the difference between motivation and empowerment. To this day, they're still clean. They got their kids and they're working.
Wow. Man, that's huge. Your way, I mean, your words hold. Your words hold weight.
Yeah.
Wow. When you, man, and so from that point on, I know you said you was working two at the time. Where was take us back? When did that shift over to going full into entrepreneurship?
Yeah, man. So shout out to Uncle E, man. I remember I went to this event called the Verified event in Philadelphia. It was him, Willie Moore Jr., Toby, CJ, Nikki, phenomenal human beings. And I remember it was crazy because the day I paid for my ticket, I didn't want to go VIP because I didn't have it. I had it, but I didn't want to spend. I want to spend on something else stupid, right? And so I accidentally bought a VIP ticket. Accidentally. Like, and I'm trying to email them. They ain't emailing me back. I'm like, yo, like, I need my bread. Like, I ain't trying to do. But I needed to be there because there was something that Uncle E said. And he said, I need you to write this down. He said, write down the last time that you'll ever work for a human being again in your life. And I remember I wrote, fam, October 29th, 2019, I will never work for another human being in my life. And here's the crazy part. I didn't just not, I did leave the job, but I had to relocate from Rhode Island all the way to Washington State, the corner of the map, right? We talking about Seattle, Tacoma, Washington, Walla, right? All this stuff. So not only did I transition from the job, but I had to transition from my state. Why? Because a prophet's not welcome. Let me help y'all. Let me interject this. Stop performing miracles where people don't believe. Stop it. And that's where God had to take me away from there. And let me say this: God blew on the speaking ministry because I accomplished in 2 years more than what I ever accomplished in my whole life. And to this day, I have not worked for another soul, and that's nothing but the glory of God. Right? To boast or to brag is just to let you know that somebody like me that trusts God, that believes in God, and if you have a heart for the people, God will give you the desires of your heart because He can trust you. And so, man, like from that moment, man, I remember I was crying tears, fam. Like as I was writing that down, like October 29th, tears just dropping because I understood that where I was, I outgrew. I've done my, like what Paul says, I fought the good fight. I finished my race. Not E's race, not Inky's race, not Les Brown's race. I finished my race here. Now I need to go to the next one. Right. So yeah, that's what I was saying in regards to that. Yep.
Wow. And for those who don't know, when he said Uncle E, we're talking about Dr. Eric Thomas, aka E.T. the hip hop preacher. Shout out to Dr. Eric Thomas because most of the people I've brought on this show thus far has some correlation where we didn't went to some event that he has had, and he has made a definitely impact in this space of motivation and speaking. So
Sure.
shout out to Dr. Eric Thomas. Wow. And you know what? I always say this. Sometimes your purpose is bigger than your zip code.
You better say that.
Because a lot of times we want that next best thing, but when God said you got to shift and pivot into a new direction, you got to trust that process. And the fact that you was obedient. I mean, you went from first of all, Rhode Island over here on this side of the map, all the way up there.
Yeah.
And then you went to Washington over yonder. Look, over yonder.
Over yonder. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. You know, you really took a chance. And what would you say to the entrepreneur who, like, well, you know, I want to, but my finances ain't right. My money is funny and my change is strange. And you don't understand. I just can't do it right now.
Yeah. This is what I would say to him. God never gives you a vision to match your bank account, but your faith account. God never said, hey, like, here's what you need to understand. If God's telling you to do it, He's going to provide everything you need. So don't stop your blessing. Don't stop your next opportunity. Don't stop your next level because you're focusing on the exterior. God, it's going to cost this much to ship my car. God didn't ask you all that. And the reason why He's telling you to leave is because every single person that He's ever used, the first thing that He strips from them is their comfortability. And for some of you, you're more married to your comfortability than your calling.
Ooh, that's good.
Right? So you know that you know your time has expired at the job, but because you have a safety net, right? Let me help y'all. You don't need faith for a paycheck. You need faith to operate a business. Yep. You need faith to operate a business. You don't need faith for a paycheck. You know, every Friday or every 2 weeks, that check gonna hit your account. But when you are operating an entrepreneurship spirit, You may have one good month, and then 3 months is like, Lord, let me fill out EBT link. Let me get all this stuff, God. You know what I'm saying? Like, and again, right? You have to be willing to go through that process, because if you don't go through that process, then how can you tell somebody how to escape Pharaoh when you haven't escaped your own Pharaoh yet? Right? So it's more sweeter on the promised land, but of course, there's some things that you're going to have to encounter to be able to get there. And God's always going to tell you, don't talk to me about the problem when I put the actual solution in your hand. That's exactly what he said to Moses. Yo, what's in your hand? It's a rod. Use it. To you, it's a rod. To me, it's freedom. Whew. To you, it's a rod. To me, it's freedom. Use what I've given you, because what you have is more than enough to go out here and go change the world. So that would be my advice to anybody that's listening to that. And again, don't focus on the resources. Don't focus on that. Just focus on the source. God is your source. He will provide everything that you need. He knows where he's taking you. He's seen it before you've seen it. That's why he's telling you to go do it, because there's more here. Imagine if I was disobedient. I wouldn't be on this podcast with my sis. And my speaking business would have never blew up. I would have never been Will is blessed. I'd have been Will. That's it. Right? So it's understanding like, yo, like God has to change your environment so he can change your name. So the next time you come back to your environment, they have to reintroduce you, because you're no longer who you used to be, because you've leveled up. Yeah.
Y'all, if y'all ain't taking notes, I need you to hit pause right now and just rewind. Like, I know you polished, because the way you speaking, first of all, I could tell you speaking like we got 20 people, 20, 100, 2,000 people watching us right now live, and we're not live. But y'all hear how he's doing it. Like, I'm listening. I'm a student. So I'm looking at how you moving and grooving and just speaking, and you not
that creed right there, you know what I'm saying? Yep.
Oh my gosh. And you know what I love about speaking is the fact that it is an impact, and you get to share your story. And I know like I said, you have a community with your helping others speak. When did you realize, okay, because here's the thing, now you done left this job, you was obedient, went across the state, did your thing, and you're now building. They say it takes a couple of years before you get to where you need to be. Was that true?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I tell people all the time, like, it took me 5 years to get paid, and it wasn't because I just didn't have the information. I kept trying to do it on my own. That's why it took 5 years for me to get my first paid gig, because I was being prideful and had high ego. But when I dropped that, it was a wrap. It was a wrap.
Yeah. You say it took you 5 years to get your first paid gig?
5 years. Yeah. 5 years to get my first paid engagement. And it wasn't even nothing crazy. It was like, what, $250.
So this entire time, you've just been doing it just being a good servant.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I tell people, anybody in the speaking game, you listen to this right now, if you have not paid your dues, don't complain. Don't talk about, oh, I sent out 1,000 emails, ain't nobody responding to me. Good. Send out another 1,000. You're not built for it if you're so focused on the no. If you're not faithful to the no, you'll never get married to the yes. You got to be willing to go through the no's, right? And so go through the no as it relates to allowing you to become a better version of yourself. Don't go through the no because you're so focused on what you're going to get on the other side. Like, that's selfish of you. Like, the gift's not even yours. You're renting this anointing. You're renting this charisma. You're renting this assignment. It's not even yours. God chose you to do it. So who are you to say, if they're not paying me, I'm not going to do it? Who are you? Well, seriously, like, I really think a lot of these speakers that are feeling, they're entitled. Like, somebody has to pay you to do something. You have not paid your dues. No, that's not the way this works. And it's a slap in the face to our ancestors. It's a slap in the face for people who paved the way for us to actually get. First and foremost, I ain't even gonna hold you. Like, let's keep it a buck. Like, if somebody paid me $1,000 to speak for 30 minutes, like, some people be like, that's not enough. Are you crazy? You know how much people gotta work to make $1,000, and God graced you to go in and speak for 30 and get paid $1,000?
Talk about it.
But because you're trying to mimic somebody else's anointing, that's your problem. Like, you're trying to slay the Goliath, but you have not been faithful to the slingshot. What's your work ethic look like? What does your sweat equity look like? What are you doing when nobody's watching you? Not what you're doing when you're on a platform, when you're on a podcast, lights, fog machine, music playing, all this crazy stuff. No, that's not where the real work. The real work happens when bears and lions are trying to come and attack God's sheep. How are you defending them? So God will never promote you publicly if you're not able to master yourself privately. So to my speaker out there, stop feeling entitled. Stop feeling that people need to pay you, especially if you have not been in the game long enough. You've been in the game 2 years. Nothing ain't pushing. Keep pushing.
Yeah.
Nobody
Yeah.
getting you overnight. You gotta do the work. And some of you don't want to do the work because you lazy. Flat out. Yeah. My bad. I just had to let that go where I had to let it go.
No, it's true though. It's so true. I used to, like, when I was doing speaking years ago for the church as a vice president of women's ministry, I never charged. I'm like, I'm doing it for God. I'm doing it for Jesus. Fast forward now, just in these last 2 years getting paid gigs. And here's the thing. What I had to learn was you can't let everybody in your ear either, because I had somebody one time tell me, you should be charging 10,000. And I'm like, well, they said their budget was only 4,000. Mm-hmm. What you want? And I'm trying to get my foot in the door. So you mean to tell me I'm going, like you said, the entitlement? Am I going to be too uppity up where I got to be like, no, I'm only taking less than 10. I'm not a household name like an ET, right? ET can do that. He ain't leaving the house for a certain amount. But it's like, okay, I can't have people in my ear talking about, man, I would have did it. I would have did it for 10 grand. Mm-hmm. You ain't even.
Yeah.
You know where I'm going with this.
No, that's good, fam. And let me say this too, right? So I just did a tour, fam, about a month ago in Rhode Island. I had 8 gigs. Out of 8 gigs, 6 of them were free. I didn't charge them. I didn't charge them a dime. Why? Because I want to make sure that who owns my gift? God. I submit to his will, right? So I ain't trying to go out here and be flashy stuff like that. Like, I don't have to, right? I just understand that the gift is God given and I got to continue to stay polished. So even myself, fam, just like you, we out here, like, whatever we need to do to continue to stay polished and be a servant. Because at the end of the day, if you never got paid to do it, you would still do it because you love what you do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I just want to throw that out there. Like, I'm still doing what I need to, you know what I'm saying, sharpen the mechanics and things of that nature. So yeah, take those notes, speakers, for sure.
Yeah. And it's exposure. You putting the reps in. I've had somebody say, hey, I only have 1,000. Like you said, where's you going to go and get 1,000 for 30 minutes or 45 minutes or whatever? And here's another thing. What I've learned, you could probably speak on this because I know you're consistent too. Some of you guys are not putting yourself out there to be seen. Your social media don't show that you are a speaker or a coach or a consultant, whatever business it is. It don't show that. I don't need to know you eating whatever you eating for the day or whatever, unless you show me that's part of your content. But a lot of people don't put themselves out there in terms of the content. And I've actually gotten noticed. I don't know if you have, but I've actually gotten noticed, and I actually gotten a gig from just showing up, doing social media, doing those motivational minutes, because to me, it is putting a rep in. And not only that, it's just more exposure. Yeah. I know you do it because you in my timeline as much as I.
You a fool. I cannot. You crazy. I'm weak. I cannot.
Look, you know he on the roll. Some days you got the humor side of you, right? I'm like, okay, that's another side of Will. Yeah. But then one day you like, please, Will. Lord, listen. Okay, we about to go to church in 60 seconds or less.
Come on, do it, Lord, do it. Yes.
But talk about that in terms of the importance of showing up even on social media for you.
Yeah. So first thing I would say to anybody is run your race at your pace. If somebody tells you to post 3 times a day, do not listen to that garbage. You post based on the capacity that you can, because I can say to somebody, yo, you need to post 3 times a day, but they got 4 kids, their spouse, right? Or somebody's single, right? And they don't have many kids, so they have more time, right? So again, like, don't feel that. And let me say this to you. Don't feel like you're missing out because you're not posting every single day. Because again, it's not about quantity, it's about value, right? And the more value that you provide, people are just going to find you anyway. And also, like, make sure that when you're posting content, you post content that's from you, not from somebody else. Stop trying to mimic somebody. Like, post from the internal, right? Like, what is God giving you? Because again, it doesn't have to look sexy. It don't have to look sexy, right? Shout out to Nikki. Nikki says it best. She says, yo, let me see if I can mimic her voice. Content corner. What she say? She says, I'd rather have good video, right? I'd rather have bad video and good audio. I said, man, that's a fact. because if the audio is crispy, I can do a lot more with it, right? And so just find your sweet spot. And let me say this to you. If you don't show up, your legacy don't eat. If you don't show up, your legacy don't eat. Like, here's the thing. Here's what I love. I always talk about it this way. I'm about to get in my bag right now. Watch this.
Come on, get it.
So there's two types of y'all that's on social media. You're the first group of y'all, the grinder, the hustlers, right? You grind and hustle and grind out, woo, boom, right? And now you're burnt out, you're stressed, you're overwhelmed, all right? Find me one scripture to where God talks about grind. I'll wait. He never grinded. He never even worked. He thought. And he took his thought, put in the creativity, and then he hired Adam to work the thought. In other words, right, you need to focus on being a farmer. God took the thought, planted the thought into creativity, the creativity harvest, and then he put somebody to work the thought. So again, a farmer, they plant once and they eat forever. A grinder, you're only eating based on what you kill. So here you are, you may get 1 gig, but then you're like, yo, how's this queen getting 15 gigs? Because she's creating a harvest. She ain't grinding. This is why strategy is more important than grinding. So you have to understand, do you want to be a hunter? You want to be a grinder? Because it sounds sexy, but then when you're actually doing, you're like, man, I feel burnt out today. I don't feel like doing nothing. I can see why. See, you burn out because you don't have a system in place. You don't have a strategy in place. You're so focused on what the next person's doing. Oh, they put out 15 pieces of content with the Sony camera. I need to do that too. Let me go buy a Sony camera. Knowing you ain't have the money to buy a Sony camera, you just buying because you're trying to look like somebody else that you're not. No, don't do that, right? Be the farmer. Plant once, eat forever. And that's what your content will do for you. That's what your success will do for you. Show up on the level that you can show up. Don't let nobody come into you in season. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you. I have friends that be coming to me, they be like, yo, Will, you need to go to this event. I said, no, you need to go to that event. I know my season. The season I'm in is becoming a better father. I know how to hear from God. See, I know how to hear from God. You're probably hearing from social media. You got too many reels in your ear. That ain't real. Ain't real in character, ain't real in integrity, ain't real in, you know what I'm saying, morals. You ain't real in that. But you think a 30-second reel, you say, yeah, I got to be a part of it. For what? To take a picture? For what? To write notes? For what? To say I'm in the room? You've been in so many rooms that the room hadn't even gotten to you. But you're trying to be somewhere because like it's crazy to me, sis. Like you will really go to an event, you'll leave your family just to take a picture with somebody, just to post it on social media. You don't even care what the game is. You don't even care what the information is, and they spitting heat. But here you are the whole time. I just can't wait to take a picture. Tapping your foot. I can't wait to take a picture. Taking a picture with somebody ain't gonna do nothing for you. Listen to me. You need to live a life. You feel me? Like you need to live a life to where the people that you look up to you.
That part.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Watch this. I'm gonna be honest with you. I had a talk with Uncle E. When was it? I want to say 2.5 weeks ago. And pretty much in the talk, right, the conversation that we had in the dialogue, and I want you guys to catch this because it's going to be very, very important that you catch this, right? You have to understand that if you're really going to grow as an individual, you need to surround yourself around wise counsel, all right? And so I remember I was like, yo, man, like I'm going through a process right now to where it's overwhelming, Uncle E. I'm gonna hold you. I'm getting gigs from here, contacts from here. And he said, well, I want to ask you a question. Like, you know, because he said, I consider you. Matter of fact, let me actually read word for word because I don't want to lie. And I'm gonna show it on the screen too, so you guys don't think I'm capping. Because a lot of people are like, I know E, but then you really don't know E. Okay. What's that say right there? That's Eric Thomas, right? Okay, cool. Yep. And you see, we're actually having conversation, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Just so nobody don't think I'm capping, because people be like, "Oh, you capping?" Okay, well, we'll see, right? Watch this. So he goes, "Bro, I'm not trying to count your money, but I use you as an example for other speakers. Can you just give me a range of what you made your best year?" Uncle E asking me this. Consistency, and mind you, fam. In 2017, I went to his event, which was Stay Ready. Everybody, again, went to the event because they wanted to take a picture. My dude was spitting heat. He said something that changed my life. He said, thinkers get paid, workers rarely do. I fell out. I said, that's what I need. Everybody's so focused on taking a picture. And you could tell as soon as they got done, everybody trying to run up to him after they told them, don't take no pictures. Right? Now I'm not gonna hold you, fam. I'm like, yo, I'm about to take a picture. The Lord said, sit your butt down. He said, you have not earned the right to take a picture yet.
Man, ooh, let me know when you pass the baton on that one.
Oh, I got it right now. Here you go. Whoop, there you go. Whoop, there it is. Whoop, there it is.
Listen, that is so freaking true. Like, for real, for real. Listen, I was a part of the 120 conference, of course, Game Changers and stuff like that. And then, of course, I went to the Next Level conference. And just to be a part of that, and you're right, people jumping over hoops to take a picture. To this day, I still haven't got a picture with E, right? It doesn't matter, because when my time comes, it comes. I don't need, that ain't my goal to get a picture. My goal is to get in there and get fed, get the tools and the resources, right? And here's the thing that was so profound in 2023 at the Next Level conference. He said out his mouth, some of y'all do not need to attend another conference, another mastermind, or another program. Some of y'all just keep showing up and showing up and showing up, but guess what? You ain't moving the needle. I said, oh, I felt convicted to growing.
Woo!
And guess what I did when I left that conference? I came back and started my LLC, Convicted to Grow.
Come on, let's go.
I say that because people do that. They want to get it on the social media. See the picture of me and E.
Yeah.
But you ain't even putting the freaking work in. I know he's honored that people admire him. I know that. Yeah. But his ultimate goal, like you said, to make disciples, to be of good stewards, to also be prosperous. He always said, build your own table.
Yeah, it's a fact. No, that's so true. And so, you know, guys, just like for real, like, and that's why I'm glad, like, this is one reason why I came on, because it's Convicted to Grow. Like, you're getting convicted, right? Like, you really got to understand that, yo, like, you're dope. You're dope just the way you are. Like, nobody can ever be another you on this earth. So why are you trying? It would be a waste of your existence to try to be somebody else's DNA when God gave you your own DNA. So, you know, I just think that people really just got to understand, like, yo, like, build your own. Build your own, because the meal tastes different when you build your own table. Like, the food is different when you build your own table. And again, so many individuals, they want to be a part of something that's winning, but rather be a part of something that's building. Not understanding that, you know, a lot of these tables, Jesus would have flipped over. He would have flipped over a lot of these tables, like a lot of these stages he would be flipping over, because it's not meant to really add value to the people. It's meant to it's meant to add value to your bank account.
Yeah.
You're not looking to help somebody's soul. And at the end of the day, what's the point of doing all this work and you get before your maker and the maker says to you, I don't even know you.
Yeah. And speaking of building, you're building as we speak. You're building your own community. You're building your own community of speakers. Yeah. And here's the thing, y'all. I know there's a lot of communities out there globally that has speaker communities. But guess what? We all can eat. And the fact that you're doing it, the secret. So I like that name. How did you come up with that name?
Man, see, everything that I do has a meaning. So let me break this down real quick. Right. So I always tell people in regards to Will is blessed, I said my mom named me Will, but God added the is blessed. Boom, got that. Preach Will. Where does that come from? That comes from me telling my truth, convicting people, and really just being my authentic self. I take a mix of ministry and I make it applicable to people around the world. So I even have people that don't even believe in God saying preach Will. Who gets the glory for it? God do. Sometimes you the only Bible that people read, and a lot of you know, you I ain't even gonna say that. Lord, move on to the next, right? But it's pretty much the secret sauce was originated from my mother. One particular day in regards to Thanksgiving, right? It was on Thanksgiving. We didn't have no food in the cabinet. The only thing we had was beans and noodles. Literally, it was nothing else in there. And she just pretty much just telling me, like, what do you see? What do you see? What do you see? I said, beans and noodles, beans and noodles, beans and noodles, beans and noodles. She's like, boy, what I see is a meal. What I see is what you're taking for granted, what most people don't have. We're blessed, baby. Even though we have less, we're blessed. And so that taught me as I grew up and became wiser, you have to learn how to take nothing and turn it into something. So there I say, yo, secret sauce, right? You got to learn how to create your own sauce and serve your menu, your meal to the world. Not Inky's message, not Les Brown's message, Tony, Lisa Nichols. No, your message to the world. What's your sauce? What separates you? What's your ingredients? Your ingredients may be a divorce. Your ingredients may be depression. Your ingredients may be molestation. But you got to take those ingredients because those are ingredients that God has given you. And I always tell people, it's like, yo, like with a cake. Eggs, not good by themselves if you eat it raw, right? Flour, it ain't, you know what I'm saying? Like butter, you know, you never bit a stick of butter. But when you have all these elements into one pan with the right cake, with the right stuff, and you mix that joint, you're like, man, like it was ugly. But now look at me. God
Right.
did work, right? So you don't waste no ingredient that God has given you. Use it to your full advantage.
I love it. I love it. And for people who want to join your community,
Mhm.
like, is there a vetting process? Are you taking those who let's say somebody said, listen, I think I want to be a speaker, but I don't know for sure yet, and I don't have no training. Like, is there like actually public speaking training? I know you said you teach strategy and systems.
Yeah. So that type of person, I would definitely invite you to the Secret Sauce University. That's where you can get your feet wet, and that's specifically positioned to help speakers get four-figure contracts, right? Specifically, so you can just be starting, and then you can end up coming out polished. Literally, the whole roadmap and the formula for that. So I would say start there if that's something that you were looking to do. But I just feel blessed and anointed and graced to really have this type of mantle on my life to really help speakers. And here's the thing, it's like I don't even feel like I'm not helping speakers, fam. I'm really helping God to have more billboards in the world that can point back to his glory. That's what it's about. And I'm be honest with you, like I'll say 85% of our clients are faith-based. I don't even seek, it's just when you're walking in what you walk in, you attract that type of vibe, right? So for me, it's just like I'm just honored to help, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, if you have a message, get your message out there. Stop letting the enemy put a muzzle on your mouth. You've been silent too long. Speak up. Break the silence. Go talk. Go let the world know who it is that you are. You know? So
Yeah, I love that. I love the fact that you're still building yourself and
absolutely.
building people along the way.
Yeah.
That speaks highly of you
Yeah.
to do that. What's the next for Will? Like, what you have coming up for yourself? Look, y'all, I told him before the call, I said, whenever I get you for something in the future, make sure, because I met you in 2024, give me the 2024 price. Stop playing.
I cannot.
I'm a Gemini. Of course, I'm just gonna go crazy.
Come on. Talk heavy. Talk heavy. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, for me, man, I think the biggest thing that I'm working on for 2025 going into 2027 is really preparing this homeless shelter and drug rehab facility to help homeless individuals and recovering drug addicts get reintegrated in society. So like having a school, right, and being able to help them to get their degrees or get their diploma, help them to get jobs, because that's something that's dear to my heart. Definitely doing some international work with Uganda, Nigeria, South Africa, in regards to just building some wells and stuff of that nature. And then in regards to just personal goals, I just want to continue to make more disciples and please God. Like I just really want to get as much disciples out here to share their message and make an impact and really have a heart to do this work. Not a heart for the check, a heart to do this work. And so that's what's coming up next for me. Of course, we have events coming up and stuff like that, but that doesn't matter to me. What matters to me is this present moment right here, speaking life into somebody that's on the other side of this YouTube video or is listening on their walk or in their car or at their job saying, like, if Will can do it, I know I can do it. Like, there's more room for me to grow, and God's going to always continue to convict you to become a better version of yourself because, again, God never wants you to continue to stay the same. He always wants you to evolve, right? And so the fact that He's challenging you to do more,
Mhm.
He's positioning you to be more and have more, but you can never have more if you don't become. So,
I like that. And what I like about what you're doing right now is, like I said, you you are making an impact. You go live. I don't catch all your lives, but you do go live. Like, y'all, this man is consistent. Like the fact that he'll go for like 45 minutes to an hour and give you free game, free training, like that speaks volume. Because like I said, some people are doing it for the check, or some people are like, well, they you so busy wanting the promise, but you don't want to go through the process, right? You got to fall in love with the process. And the fact that you're doing it, and you would do it if only 3 people on.
facts. Yeah, big facts.
So y'all need to make sure, listen, he's on IG, he's on all the social media platforms, but he goes live on IG. That's where I see him. Are you on live on TikTok too?
Man, I haven't went TikTok live in like a year and a half. I'm about to get back on my way on TikTok. I ain't gonna hold you.
Man, listen, I might go live after this because I was like, I already got made up, so I might as well just go live. No, I see you on live on IG constantly because I'll see the thing come up and I'm like, dang, he up there again. And then I think you be moved by, I know you moved by the spirit because it could be a 8 o'clock call or 10 o'clock at night. Will's gonna go live. So I know you led by the spirit, right? So y'all listen, y'all make sure y'all pick him up. And don't just go follow him. Go to one of his reels, his comments, and put hashtag convicted to grow. So we know you came over from the podcast. Hashtag preach will. That is his staple hashtag. I love it. You should get a shirt, hashtag preach will.
I already got it. Yeah. Actually, I have that stuff getting done right now. It's on my shop. Yeah, we have a whole clothing line, sauce gear. All of it. Yeah.
You have sauce gear?
Sauce gear. Saucy! Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Listen, see what I'm saying? See what I'm saying, y'all? And listen, if you want to book him, he's a speaker. He's a minister. You want to book him for your church, for your men's group, any group, education, the schools that, he has a passion for students and educators, right? He's a consultant in the education space. Would you do corporate?
I would.
I think you could do it. The only, see, I don't know how you do with schools. The only difference with corporate is, it's going to be that CU. It would be hard because, see, in corporate, we can't say God.
Oh, yeah, I ain't worried about that.
And sometimes when I'm up there and I get in my lane, I'm like, listen, y'all, I had to have faith. So they know what I'm a believer, but it's like certain things when you faith-based, you can go all in. Preach will.
Yeah.
But I think you could do it.
Praise God. I thank you for that confirmation. Yes, Lord. Do it, Lord.
Before I ask you the last question, y'all, first of all, I want to say thank you again for saying yes. And again, I pray that whatever your vision is and that you've been asking God for in 2025, I hope it 10x. Whatever that goal is, I hope it's 10x. I hope it's going to blow your mind because the goal is we thrive in 2025. So, man, keep spreading love, keep spreading positivity, keep bringing in disciples. You have a good heart and it shows that it's not all about you. And that the fact that the consistency is definitely paying off. So I just want to put that out there. Anything else you would like to share that I may have missed before I ask you this last question?
I just want to leave him with a bar, though.
Okay, come on.
The bar is from Dr. Miles Monroe. If what you see is not what you saw, then what you see is temporary. I'm going to say it again. If what you see is not what you saw, then what you see is temporary. Pretty much what that means is that stop looking at it from your lens and look at it from God's lens. You're wearing the wrong prescription. Yeah. I want to leave y'all with that.
And he was so calm about that. You see how he did that? You see how he landed that plane? So smooth.
I don't want no spirit landing. Jesus, no. I need a Delta land. You feel me? Golly. Yeah.
Woo! So listen, in 90 seconds or less, when you think of the word convicted to grow, tell me, what does that mean to you, whether it relates to life or business?
Yeah, I love it. That means literally get out of God's way so he can use you. Get out of God's way so he can use you. Like, the reason why you're not where you want to be is because he continues to try to convict you, but you're so focused on what you want and your desires, and it's not about you. You have to decrease the world so you can increase the kingdom. So get out of God's way so he can use you. That's why you keep punching in your gut. When you be at that job, you're like, man, I know I'm supposed to be here. Boom. That spirit moving. When you ain't supposed to be reaching out to homeboy, boom, that spirit convicted because he's trying to lead you a whole different way. When you try to reach out to shorty, boom, he's convicting you. He's trying to lead you to the right way. He's trying to strip you from the world so he can add the kingdom inside of you, because the only thing that works is the kingdom work. Yeah.
I ain't got no mic, but mic drop. Mic drop. I ain't got the thing like Nikki had. Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah. Shout out to Nikki.
Yeah. Shout out. She be like, "What's popping?
What's popping? It's your girl, Nikki." She gonna beat me up. She see this. Oh, God, don't put this on it. She's like, "You owe me a crumble cookie?" I'm like,
yes, that part. But thank you once again. And like I always say when I end out, y'all, life is a journey. Life is priceless, and to some, life is short. But while you're here on God's green earth, you recognize who you are. You step into your potential. Stop sleeping on your gifts, because you really truly got what it takes to win. But you got to first start off and look in the mirror and say, I got what it takes to win. You got what it takes to go out here and be the next best thing and build your own table so you can elevate and thrive in 2025. And just know that we both are rooting for you. Love you.